Welcome back to Saturday Morning Chat. This doesn't feel real. To be honest with you, I'm not sure how we got here. My laptop is jerry-rigged to 400 different devices to make all of this possible, and one day it'll look like a television show quality production. But today will not be that day. You're probably wondering why this wasn't promoted. Is it because we're not good at what we do? Potentially. But also, real life happens. And the last year, since graduating the university on Ethan's shirt, I've learned that real life is tiring. But enough of that gibberish. Ethan, welcome back.
Thank you, Nick.
This feels real.
I know we're in person again. I mean, I know last year when we did this, we were in front of our computer screens, just rolling out of bed doing this.
Right.
So, I mean, it's great to be back. Great to be in a studio, this nicely decorated studio.
Yes, and I'm going to cut you off only to say my phone and a leveler said this shelf is level, but it doesn't look level, and I'm well aware. Also, we're limited in how far back we can put the camera because walls exist. So if it is getting too close to cutting off the top there, I apologize. But this cost me $35, this sign in particular, so please just admire that as much as possible. But Ethan, you're right. Being back here, being back in person, feels good.
Oh, yeah.
Feels very good. And I'm going to let you in on an industry secret here. The first episodes we did of this show weren't our best quality. So I'm excited to maybe get into a rhythm, maybe get some things going, and start creating as our creative minds allow. Ethan has sunglasses on his head. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, when I was driving over here, it was kind of sunny, so I had to protect my eyes from the harmful UV rays. So I just had to make sure, I wasn't blinded by the light.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh.
I just had to make sure I wasn't blinded by the light and I could get here safely and at a decent time.
That's very admirable of you. Well, anyway, this is basically going to be a what you can expect episode. Not much hard-hitting sports discussion, but as I said, the key word now is rhythm. Every Saturday morning, 10:30, you can join us right here, live, except for about 3 out of the next 4 weeks when I'll be out of town over the weekend, so we're going to have to tape them. But in all honesty, thank you for joining us. We're in a bit of a transition phase. I think we're looking at this not like, we're young journalists trying to get a company off the ground as much as let's just have fun and do something with it. And I think that alleviates a lot of the pressure we had. But as for this show, definitely trying to get some interviews locked up in the future. If you have anyone within reason that we could reach out to, you're interested in hearing from them, hearing about their story, be sure to reach out to us because, let's be honest, no one cares what we have to say. We just try to say it in an entertaining manner and maybe have a fun little here's what's happening this weekend discussion. But Ethan, what are your thoughts on what we're doing here? I know I've done a lot of the talking, but I haven't had your thought, your vision.
Yeah, I mean, I think, we're all busy with our own lives and our own stuff and our own ventures, but, it's nice to, unwind on a nice Saturday morning and be able to talk a little bit of sports, be able to have a little bit of fun, a little bit of freedom to talk about what we want to talk about, and, I'm talking with my hands again.
You said freedom, so I was flapping my arms I see. As if I were an eagle.
Oh, yes.
Just, releasing patriotism for all to enjoy.
Right. But, I think it's a great opportunity for us to, like you said, we need to get into that rhythm and get back into the swing of things with this. But, I think it's a great opportunity for, both of us to, have a little bit of fun and spend some time together.
You're right.
We've lost.
You're right. That we have lost. Ethan has moved on. He's forgotten his roots.
That's not true.
Old Nicky's just an afterthought now.
That's not true.
He didn't answer 8 texts in a row. I felt like I was texting women in high school again. It was a dangerous time for Ethan. Not back then. I was harmless. But no, excited to be back. Excited to see what we can cook up in the kitchen here. But we have a couple small talking points we'll get into. We could just keep saying our grand plans for the show, and then if it fizzles out in 3 weeks, you're like, wow, look at those idiots at it again. Have a couple talking points. The main thing I should have asked you in the 20 minutes we were preparing, did you ever watch the Manti Te'o documentary?
I have not yet, but I heard it's, very eye-opening.
It's insane.
And yes, everything is out now, and you get the full gist of the story. I know you've watched it,
right?
So do you want to let the viewers in on a little bit of what they should expect without spoiling it? Because I still want to watch it.
Yeah, it's I don't know how to even begin trying to describe it, trying to find a word for it, because now getting catfished is just like a thing. Unfortunately, we all know the term. If we use social media with Tinder, Bumble, all the dating apps that I never had any luck on. That's too really corny. I had no women until I met my wonderful current girlfriend. Joke. But it's just a weird time to kind of hear people acting as if they didn't know what catfishing was. So you have to kind of take off that lens for a minute and be like, oh yeah, I guess this was new. And it's crazy to me how big the story got. I had just gotten diagnosed cancer when all this started, and I was a Notre Dame fan, so obviously I was paying attention, but it's kind of be reminded how big of a deal it became. It was probably one of the biggest stories nationally for a really long time, but just to see the justification the person who's behind it gives for it, I would describe it as infuriating. And to see how humble and emotional Manti Te'o gets, you feel bad for him. And I think there's a lot of people that think they know what happened, especially if you read comments online from people that haven't watched the doc. There's people who are like, oh, yeah, well, he said that he met her and they knew each other and had seen each other in person and he made it worse than it was. And you don't really get that impression. I can't comment. I think maybe I missed it, but I guess there's some comment he makes where he implies he's met her after a game against Stanford. I don't know if that was in the documentary. I can't really remember that tidbit to be exact, but he does mention how basically there's a photo sent to him after she was allegedly dead with her holding. He asks her to send a picture that's well, you need to prove to me this isn't a gag.
Right.
Send me a picture holding whatever the date is, making this certain hand gesture, and it gets sent to him.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing that's incriminating. And at the same time, he's preparing to play in a national championship game that they got clobbered in. So it's really funny hearing the preparation for this. But yeah, he learns this just before he's playing the national championship game. I think it's weeks before or whatever. And that's the only incriminating thing he does. And I think they make it sound like he tells people about it, like Notre Dame and stuff. But I think I look at him in a different light because I thought he was kind of in on it, but maybe it didn't get blown up to the proportion he expected it to. But if you watch this and don't feel bad for Manti Te'o, I don't know if you have a heart, because it's just sad. It's sad that he gets conned like this. And there's people online, of course, who are like, oh, well, he made $10 million playing in the NFL. I don't feel, but it's a character thing. I think you value character more than money. I think I would at least. So it just sucks. It sucks to see what he went through, and it's definitely eye-opening. And yeah, I'm sorry it's early, but it's one you're going to hear that a lot on this show too. But it's definitely worth the watch. It's worth the watch 100%. Did you know I know I act like you're 4 years old, but were you aware when this was all happening?
Partially, yes, but I've obviously heard more and more about it in the years after that. So I just think just to get the full gist of it, excuse me. I think it's definitely worth the watch, and I've been wanting to watch it, but I didn't get a chance to over this past week. But definitely something that just to get that full gist and the full story behind it all, I think it's a great watch.
Right, and it's Untold, the girlfriend that didn't exist, I think, or the story of the girlfriend who didn't exist is what it's called. Untold, I guess, made a bunch of different shows on Netflix.
Okay.
I was a big tennis fan growing up. There's one about Andy Roddick and Marty Fish, who were two American tennis players who were supposed to kind of rejuvenate the tennis scene in America. That's really good. I'm almost done with that. I'm so 2 for 2 from the Untold series so far. Moving forward, something a lot less serious that we're only going to talk about because I think there's a really great opportunity for jokes to be made. How was your Topgolf experience yesterday?
Oh, here we go. Of course you bring that up.
Well, I've done a lot of the talking, and I feel bad.
No, it's okay.
Because you'll probably bring in the views, so people don't want to hear what I have to say.
I wouldn't go that far. But if you want to know what happened to Topgolf yesterday, so you know when you go to Topgolf, you only want to have 6 to a bay, just because that's like how many can play at a time. So we were supposed to have like 13 people go, so we were gonna get 2 bays like right next to each other, so we could talk, mingle, catch up, because like we're all coming back from home and moved back into college. So we get there, only 8 people or 7 people were attending, so we're like, okay, we're just gonna get 1 bay and we'll switch out whoever's playing. So we're like, oh, okay, cool. So they have those like nice little couches that you sit behind the bay, and all the seats were taken. So I'm like, oh, no worries, I'll just stand for a little bit. So I stand. And one of the people were like, oh, yeah, pull up a chair. So I pull up a chair from the little terrace bar and bring it, right behind the walkway, the walkway behind the bays, where, like, the waiters and staff walk by and, check on the bays.
Bring you the greasy food that might make you launch your golf club.
Yep, yeah. Exactly. So I bring that chair there, sit down, talk for a little bit, get up, hit my golf balls. Was striping them yesterday with the driver, hitting it to the back wall, 202 yards. No, don't mean to brag. So I come back after I'm done hitting the balls, and chair vanishes. I'm like, what the heck? So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna grab the chair again. I grab the chair, walk back over, and this old Topgolf employee says, due to safety reasons, you're not allowed to have a chair there. It's against Topgolf rules.
Uh-huh.
And then I go back with a snarky remark, where am I supposed to sit? Because I was doing a lot of things yesterday. I did not have the energy or anything. I just wanted to sit down, enjoy my time, and, play some Topgolf, catch up.
I'd like to add a point here that you might think people would be exaggerating in a situation like this. I wasn't there, but when Ethan's not having it, I can guarantee you this is verbatim. He's going to give you some tood.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm exhausted. I was up the night before. I was up all day editing a video. And so I'm like, I'm not having this. Like, I'm done. I just want to eat some food, play some golf, talk to some people. So I'm like, where am I supposed to sit? And I walk away with the chair, put it back. Everything's good. And then somebody's charging the phone, and they're like, oh, can you grab me my phone? So I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, sure, I'll grab you your phone. It was plugged into the wall off to the side, like past the walkway. So I go to take the charger out of the thing, and the lady comes back. Not even my phone. I wasn't even charging my phone. She goes, due to Topgolf safety, you can't charge your phone there. It's only for facilities.
Uh-huh.
And I say, this isn't even my phone. She says, well, I don't care.
Wow.
So I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. I'm done. I'm not gonna argue with you more and give you attitude or anything like that. I'm just like, all right, I'm done. So I'm just like, oh, whatever. But everyone else working there was nice. Our waiter was nice.
Uh-huh.
It was just this lady that wasn't even waiting on us. That was the.
It's always the one that has no, direct responsibility for you.
Exactly.
Always throws the big no investment. Always throwing the wrench in the plans.
Exactly. But, I did enjoy my time. I got those injectable donut holes that you inject the chocolate, cream.
I've always wanted those.
In there. So good. So that made me happy, and I was a happy camper leaving Topgolf. It was a great time. Great catching up with a lot of people. So other than that one lady, it was a good Topgolf experience.
Well, me and my girlfriend have wanted to go there.
Have you ever gone?
No, never. I didn't know how expensive it was because the idea is to have like full six there.
You want the full 6 there.
So we were going to go today, actually, and then I said, oh, well, we have no friends that are free to go this weekend because it's so late in the planning process now, and I'm not splitting the however many $100 it is between the two of us because that's just stupid, especially when we're going to buy food too.
Exactly.
So we're it's in the works. It's in the works.
There you go.
So, I mean, based off that story, I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm excited. I'll get testy with an old hag Golf employee.
I mean, other than that little confrontation with the employee, I've always had a great experience at Topgolf. I mean, it's fun. It's like golf. You don't even have to be good at golf. Mm-hmm. You can be like topping the balls.
Well, if I'm eating infused donut holes, I really don't care how I'm hitting the golf ball.
You're just there to enjoy some food, have a good time, and talk to some people.
I like how futuristic Topgolf looks.
It is.
It feels like it's from the Jetsons or something. Yeah. It's cool.
Right, and I feel like I was told this yesterday. So Topgolf, you only see them when you're like on a highway. Like it's situated there.
Well, I know the one that you probably went to straight off the highway.
Yeah, it is. But like it's like that everywhere. Mm-hmm. So people can see the tall net in the targets and everything, and they're like, what's
Topgolf.
this? Oh, it's Topgolf. So let's go check this out, and let's
cool.
go play some golf. But yeah, no, that's their marketing tactic.
Topgolf and Carvana give me hope that the future will look like the Jetsons.
Yeah, because there's a Carvana right there.
Carvana's got that huge like lit up bay with all the cars. It's so cool. Those two companies both are the only reason I'm hopeful for the future in terms of like a societal moving forward standpoint. Moving forward as well, this weekend is jam-packed with all sorts of events, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, some big UFC fights happening. NFL preseason's cooking, and we're that much closer to meaningful college football games happening. So, Ethan, the only true annual segment that we'll be doing on this show that you will see today, if that sentence made any sense, I knew what it meant. Hopefully you did too at home. It's what we're watching this weekend. It's a good, calm way, usually, to close out the show. Ethan, you're the guest.
Thank you.
You made the trek back to school.
Thank you.
I don't have to worry about that anymore. I do miss it dearly, but I don't have the exhaustion of moving out my whole life. So why don't you start us off?
All right. Any other year, I would not pick preseason football as my game to watch. But this year, it's a different story. The old Pittsburgh Steelers are going down to Jacksonville to Duval County to take on the Jags at 7 o'clock tonight in their second preseason game. Quarterback battle is still ongoing. I think it's going to be Trubisky. But Trubisky, Pickett, Rudolph, they're all going at it. The new Steelers GM, Omar Khan, said this week they're not trading any of the quarterbacks. So, I mean, if you don't like Mason Rudolph, you like him, there you go. He's not getting shipped away to somewhere else, maybe New York to replace Zach Wilson for 2 to 4 weeks. But no.
Hope his mom doesn't go with him.
Oh, yeah. But it should be a good game. Obviously, it's preseason, so can't look too much into it. But I think they played very well last week, and get the work in with the starters. Maybe play a drive or two, quarter maybe. Mm-hmm. Get them tuned up for the regular season and see what happens with the quarterbacks, running backs, and watch George Pickens again go to work because he was phenomenal last week. So. Just keep going up from there. And, once again, it's crazy how good the Steelers are at drafting these wide receivers.
They are good. Now, if, weed's a little more acceptable, so maybe guys like Marcus Wheaton and them would have worked out in another life. Justice for Lamaz Swede. But I agree. If there's obviously we're going to be homers for the Steelers since we're both fans, but I think there's a plethora of reasons that you would want to watch college football. There is a plethora of reasons to watch college football. Right. There, for once, though, is some pretty good justification to watching preseason football this year, especially if you're a Steelers fan.
Right.
The QB battle, you hear different reports every day. I think Trubisky's probably the safe bet, as you alluded to, but, who knows? That energy, I guess, for the Seattle game was pretty cool. Yeah. I heard it was like regular season, come from behind, win, a lot of good energy.
And, usually with these preseason games, people don't stay for the whole game. They stay until
the third drive,
halftime, or at least halftime, or they stay until the third quarter, and then maybe midway through the third quarter they leave because they put in all the scrubs and the people that will be I shouldn't say that, but probably working bagging groceries maybe later in life.
Maybe running with the Pittsburgh Maulers in the USFL
yeah, exactly.
by the year's
end. There you go. But everyone stayed like it was. I mean, obviously it wasn't a sellout there. I think there was about 45,000 there, but a majority of the fans did stay until that final drive because
it was cool to see.
They did Trubisky for, I think, almost all of the first quarter, Rudolph for the second and third, and then they let Pickett close it out in the fourth. I mean, don't want to dive too big into the analysis of the game, but other than that last drive, I don't think Pickett really showed off what he can truly do. So I wasn't too impressed with him. Like, obviously, he threw for more yards than Trubisky, but it was a lot of those short, dump-off, check-down passes. I want to see him, really air it out, go to those mid to deep range passes, really, look at a couple of reads and work that way. That will make me, really respect him as a rookie quarterback coming in to, show like, oh, yeah, he can actually be a starting quarterback in the NFL this year one. But as for now, Trubisky looked phenomenal on that first drive, worked his way down the field. I don't care if it's just Seattle. It was very impressive, and, just to see what they can do once again tonight. And I also didn't think Rudolph played bad either. Only a couple of bad passes here and there, but should be another fun one tonight.
I agree on pretty much all those points. I think, especially in terms of maybe opening up the pass game a bit, I don't want to say everyone can throw checkdowns, but I mean, you're not really seeing a ton of what their playmaking ability is in those situations. And maybe, I get it, you want them to learn the schemes, the formations, the plays that they'll be running more frequently than others. But when you have a quarterback battle, 3 dogs in the race, got a little bit that dog in them.
Yep.
I think you want to see what they can do when the pockets collapse and who can elude defenders, things of that nature, who can make the better reads. I think that checkdowns and halfback screens and stuff, I don't think that you're going to see much in terms of their capabilities running that. So I definitely agree from that standpoint. And now they play another fake NFL team in the Jaguars. Just kidding. Seattle had a great run of competitiveness, and it's a shame it's ending, even though I hate Pete Carroll because of what he did to my Fighting Irish when he was with USC. But whatever. My what to watch, UFC 278 tonight, Usman and Edwards. Really excited about that one. I think they fought in 2015. Usman won by decision. Some other good fights there. Costa taking on Rockhold, and Jose Aldo fights as well. I'm not even going to... I'm a casual UFC fan. I'm trying to get into it more. I think I am taking a little bit baby steps upward from the casual standpoint, but I don't know how on earth to pronounce the guy's name he's fighting, so apologies to him. But Aldo's the underdog, so clearly that man is good.
Right.
Drake made a huge bet on Aldo, I guess.
Really?
Though. Yeah,
wow.
a lot of money. So
God.
We'll see if that hits. The Drake curse.
Yeah.
You never want that.
Nope.
My other what to watch, I'm going to say too, Pirates Reds. It's getting to crunch time now. I bet Pirates over 64.5 wins. I believe they're 18 or 19 away still from getting there. They had the records up. Me and my girlfriend went on Thursday night to see him play Boston because I was like, how often do you get to see Pittsburgh play Boston?
Hey,
they shellacked them.
Next year, though. Next year, you'll see him every other year.
So
there you go.
We were there, and they have the records permanently up on one of the side scoreboards, between the levels in the stands. And I just kept looking at Pittsburgh's record, and I was like, how many of these are losses of 3-1 runs?
Oh, yeah.
They've lost so many games this year. That'll come back on in a second, I hope. Maybe not. Oh, well. It is what it is. That is going to do it for Saturday Morning Chat. The battery has seceded. It's over. It's succumbed to its wounds. The production will be much better next time. That won't happen. You won't see EOS webcam utility next time. That's a guarantee. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you later. I'm rolling away now.